What's good, everybody? It's John. I come back at you another video. So for this video is going to be on the topic of obsession and the power of obsession. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with what an obsession is, what that word means. But if you're not familiar, it's essentially someone that thinks about something or someone all the time, right? And obsession is something that's so powerful that can help get you to where you want to go in life, because when you're obsessed, essentially your mind is fixated on that one idea, that one topic, whatever it is. And when your mind is fixated, like the mind is one of the most powerful tools we as humans have in our disposal, right? Because the mind can solve any and all problems. And so if you instruct the mind to focus on this one idea, you can take it as far as you want. You can be as great as you want in any sort of industry, in any field, as long as you're obsessed, right? Because your obsession with that idea, your relentless pursuit, right? It's going to lead you to be dedicated to constantly move forward or take action towards that idea, towards that dream that you have, towards that goal. And obsession is what's going to help you get there. Now, I remember seeing a video a few days ago from Kenny the Jet Smith. So he's a former basketball player, NBA champion. And this probably was a clip pulled from like a podcast that he did with someone. And they was talking about, they asked him, what makes an extraordinary individual? And he said, he sort of laughed and he said, funny enough, like, it's not hard to be extraordinary in this world. Because in order to be extraordinary, you just have to do the ordinary extra. To be extraordinary, you just have to do the ordinary extra. You just have to put in the extra hours, put in the extra work, commit yourself completely to whatever it is you're chasing after, that idea, that goal, that dream that you have. And it'll soon be a reality, because we live in a world where people have short attention span, or people have, short commitments, or they believe in instant gratification, where as soon as they do something, they deserve a reward rather than delayed gratification, understanding that the beginning, there may be some ups and downs. The beginning, it may be an uphill climb, but when you have the long-term picture in mind, when you understand your purpose, when you understand the dream goal, the desire, whatever it is that you're after, if it's a worthwhile dream, a worthwhile goal, you understand the big picture in mind, and you understand that you may not be rewarded towards the beginning. You may not see any benefits from it at the beginning, but you understand that in due time, over time, that you'll eventually get there, and then you eventually be living out that dream. That's the power of obsession. That's being able to wake up and pursue that, right? Making some sort of strides towards that. If you look at and I love using like athletes as an example, because that's, we can all relate, and there's so many different athletes and so many different sports around the world, right? So they're a pretty easy example, right? I remember seeing a clip years ago of Michael Phelps talking about how he trained for several years in a row. Of course, he trained his whole life, right, since a child. But he said at one point he had such a strong training regimen that he went several years without missing a day as a swimmer. So he said he would miss birthdays, he would miss going out with friends, he missed out on so many things in his life, like for his loved ones and people close to him, social gatherings. He missed so many of those events because he wanted to train to be an Olympic swimmer. And obviously now he has more than a dozen gold medals, so he's one of the greatest swimmers to ever live. But this is what I mean. That's someone who was obsessed with his craft, obsessed with trying to be the best, trying to always find ways to get better and improve. That is insane to think about. Someone who didn't miss a single day of swimming for well over like 5 years. I think it was several years, certainly several years. I think it was at least like 5 years where he showed up every single day. Didn't matter if he was sick. Didn't matter if he was tired. Didn't matter if he wanted, whether or not he wanted to do it or not. It didn't matter if he wanted to take a break or if maybe he was somehow injured or whatever the case is, he still showed up each and every day. And that's someone who didn't make excuses, and that's someone who was obsessed. So now imagine if you were to look at your life. What is it that you really want out of life? What is it that you want to pursue? Who is the person that you want to be? What does that person, the end goal, the dream person, what does that person look like? How does that person operate, right? If you're at this level and your dream version of yourself is up here, you have to begin showing up as that person. You have to begin being obsessed with what you do and that you want to be the best at it. So that when you're operating from that level of this person up here, right, your dream version of yourself, when you operate from that position, the rest of the world has to then catch up around you to reflect that. So obsession is just being consumed with an idea, right? Like you want to have that burning desire within you of saying, you know what, there's no other, like this has to happen. There's no other route. There's no other possibility. This will happen. I believe it happened. I believe it will happen. It must happen. It will happen. And that's how you need to operate. You need to operate as though you are the best to ever do it. And it's just only a matter of time before everyone else realizes that. Listen, I'm telling you guys, if you're starting something new, if you're starting something brand new, you're going to look crazy in the eyes of other people. They're going to look at you crazy. They're going to question it, right? They're going to tell you it's not going to work because their dreams of the stuff that they gave very little effort didn't work. So they're just projecting their insecurities onto you, saying it's not going to work. You have to operate with delusion. You have to be so delusional that in your mind, you are already at your destiny. You are already at the dream goal. You've become the person that you've always wanted to become. In your mind, that has to happen. Because then in your mind, if it's already happened, then once again, eventually the rest of the world will begin giving you evidence of it happening. And then that's when everyone is going to start saying that you're a genius. That's when everyone is then going to start giving you praise once they begin seeing your results. Not understanding that results don't always come immediately. That sometimes it may take time, whether it will take several days, several weeks, several months, several years. What matters most is if you're still heading in the right direction. If you have a goal that you want to achieve, a dream, a North Star, and that goal is north, right? It does not matter if you're traveling by airplane, by boat, by car, through a bike, on foot, crawling. It does not matter. As long as you're heading in that direction of where you're going, you will reach your destination. And obsession helps you do that. Obsession makes sure that you're on the road and you're continuing to head north, and you basically have your blinders on and you're not looking to the left and you're not looking to the right. You're not paying attention of what other people are doing. You're not looking at the other people's homes and how nice they are. Because the grass is always greener, right? So for someone who is not obsessed, they basically don't have their blinders on, and then any road they want to take, they'll travel through that road. When you're obsessed, you only have tunnel vision and you're hyper focused on getting to your end goal, your dream destination, and you have your blinders on and nothing else matters. And so when you develop obsession, when you have obsession for something you want, that's when you develop the burning desire, and then you believe that it will happen, that it must happen, that there's no other outcome but for it to happen. So for anything that you want to put your best foot forward, you want to have obsession, because then your mind is fixated on that idea, that topic alone, and it will constantly look for ways and find solutions for you to get it done and for you to arrive at your dream destination. So once again, this is this video on obsession for you guys. This is Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.